This project is very simple, consisting of the base mesh body, the helmet, the armor, a few very simple accessories, 2 cars in the background, and an HDRI for the lighting. I put a link in the description for the free car models that I got from Daniel Zhabotinsky on Sketchfab. I think there were 3 main steps in creating this helmet: sculpting, adding details, and texturing. The sculpting part took the least amount of time, whereas texturing took most of it. As I usually start these, I took a pre-made model of a human body and sculpted a couple of simple helmets on top of him using a shrink-wrapped cube with dynamic topology turned on. I ended up using the 3rd attempt for the rest of the piece. After I was happy with the big shapes, I added a few small accessories like the camera and some metal pieces, a few scars, and some tiny asymmetrical deformations to the surface of the helmet. Then, for the texturing, I UV unwrapped the high poly mesh as it is without any retopology. Then I used a simple checkered texture in the node editor window to see if the UV map stretches anywhere, so I could fix it by adding more seams to it. Then I used Substance Painter to texture the very high poly model. Now, seeing the final image, I probably could have achieved a similar result had I stayed in Blender using procedural textures, but I find the Substance Painter workflow very fast and straightforward, so I tend to use it more often. After adding a few stock textures on top of a black base layer, I exported the 4K texture maps and opened them back in Blender. If you have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, you can automatically connect all the texture maps to their corresponding sockets in the principal shader. For that, in the node editor window, hit Ctrl-Shift-T to open the location of the textures, and select all the texture maps that you want to connect and hit OK. The Node Wrangler will do the rest. Everything else here is less technical and depends on what kind of image you're making. In this case, it's a close-up shot of the character using a long 135mm lens with a shallow depth of field and lit by a single HDRI, which I got for free from polyhaven.com. Let me know if you'd be interested in more breakdowns like this, or if I should do in-depth videos covering more steps of the process. And thanks for watching.